Appreciate everybody for jumping in. We're going to get this going the best way possible. This is Jake Ferguson on the show.
I think it's almost like every other year, maybe a little bit more, but I know what it takes. I know what it, I was Pro Bowl 1 year, and last year not the year that I wanted to have. And, just going back and reassessing myself after this season, just knowing what it's going to take. And, cutting out some of the bad things in my life, whether it be food, whatever it may be. And, really locking in and getting with Dak, making sure I'm playing on all the offense and, with the new coaching staff, just making sure that turnover is seamless.
Refining your skill set is a major thing, not a minor thing. And shout out to Jake Ferguson for looking into this. This is a contract year for him. And, of course, his feet is to the fire. He had a real pedestrian season last year, so hopefully this can be a situation and scenario that he grow from. All of this reports will come from John Machota. Shout out to him, especially for what he's able to do in the Cowboys space. It's phenomenal. Shout out to my guy. And this is what John Machota pretty much put out there for us to also digest. Is Terrence Steele and his 2025 expectations? Let's listen to what he had to say.
I expect a very high level of play from the jump. I've been grinding like no other this offseason. I just want to be great. I just want to be great for me, for the team, for my family. So, I'm hungry. I'm hungry to go out there and prove the world wrong. So, I expect a very, very high level of play.
So he said high level. He's hungry. PhD put that in the chat. Poor, hungry, and determined to make something happen. That's a great thing. So shout out to Terrence Steele. 2025 is a measuring stick for him because a lot of people are willing to get rid of him, especially moving Tyler Guyton to right tackle and figuring out a way to draft a tackle in this draft and all of this stuff. But Terrence Steele, I truly believe that his drop-off happened when we hired Mike Solari, two different beliefs of systems here. If we're going to be a run-first team, he's going to flourish in this system. That's what he do best. So I can't wait to see Terrence Steele in 2025. And moving up a little further, shout out to John Machota once again. He got a chance to get this conversation in with Deron Bland, and this is a contract year for him. Let's see what he says here.
Get a new contract.
No, I have no talk. We're worried about the season right now.
What's your mindset about?
So that's mindset right there. I can tell by the voice that was Clarence Hill that asked him that. Deron Bland, he pretty much said that basically he's just ready for the season. He's not going to talk about it. He's focused in, locked in on that. So that's good stuff. This is Michael Parsons on the importance of a new contract done before training camp. Let's listen to what he said.
Extremely important. You really see a lot of players struggle when, guys aren't participating in camp and they get off to slow starts. I don't want to get off to no slow start. I want to hit the ground running and establish ourselves in this league and get some wins early in the season and be in rhythm. It's going to be extremely important for me to get going and lead these guys.
Get him what he want. He want to start off fast, not slow, and he want to be able to get things going. Morale is everything. Sometimes we can look at something and say, hey, nah, just do it for this. No, but morale is everything. And you can raise the morale and have great things going if you can get my guy Michael Parsons' contract deal done. And so that we can get things moving in the right direction. So shout out to Michael Parsons on that. And salute to John Machota for capturing this moment right here. All right, and let's listen to what else.
Yeah, I think I'll still be around. For me, like I said, I still got to learn the playbook. And I'm not so much of a iPad person where I can just keep learning. Like, I got to walk through it. Maybe so much I might not be on the field part of it, but I'll be there learning. So that way I'm at the least I'm getting prepared to, be ready for week one. All right, thanks.
Yeah, getting ready for week one. He says he's not the iPad person. And I'm glad that he know what type and kind of caliber of person he is, right? So if he's saying that he's not the iPad person, that he physically got to be out there, then, hey, agent, hey, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, let's get this deal done so we won't be going back and forth with this stuff with Michael Parsons. The playbook is a little bit different, so there's a learning curve with that, right? So with all of that being said, let's figure out ways that we can get the ball rolling in the right direction. So that's John Machota on the report of Michael Parsons still being at the star on the offseason contract, even though it's not done yet. So And I really appreciate and I commend Michael Parsons for that. And now he goes into details of the D-Law.
Man, just for me, it's all about setting the tone about what the locker room is, man. We ain't gonna put up with nothing. We ain't gonna tolerate the dumb stuff that was going on. Like I said, it's a new regime, new culture. I'm not saying that other guys weren't culture builders, but some things are just tired. You know what I mean? Like obviously, if something ain't working, it's good that you got new guys to fix it. I'm just happy that me, CD, Dak, and Dak kind of been through 2 generations, but just a new regime. Like guys gonna get closer. We're gonna relate. It's just kind of hard, like when you got a bunch of guys that are here and they're older, you know what I mean? They're more your highest paid players, and it's hard to get that relationship. But now we've all came in together, established this relationship. We're all around the same age, and we all hang out way more. So, like you saw us working out together. That's not something that I've seen or been a part of here in the past unless you went to OTAs. So just things like that, meeting up, working out together, boxing together, things like that, things that we're going to start building a
camaraderie building, being able to not do goofy stuff, right? That's what he was saying. So, a new broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get the corners type of conversation, right? But even though that old broom is gone, now the new broom got to break into that, being that old broom and being able to be with each other. Camaraderie is a major thing, not a minor thing. So, shout out to Michael Parsons. This is a step in the right direction. We saw videos, a clip of him working out with other Cowboy players, Osa, Denzel Daxon. We seen Luigi. We got a guy on the team named Luigi. Ernest, yeah, he's Ernest Brown, I believe, another guy. So they all worked out together. That's a great thing, and it was all under the leadership of Michael Parsons. So that's a step in the right directions. This is Michael Parsons when he was asked about his thoughts on Jerry Jones' recent comment about his agent. And let's listen to what he had to say about this.
Yeah, obviously I know Jerry always comes from a good place. I think overall Jerry's one of the better people I know. And also, my agent's one of the better people I know. So, I don't really try to get, it's like when your brother and sister are arguing. You don't really step in the middle or choose sides. You just kind of say, hey, you're coming from this perspective, you're coming from this perspective, and just trying to way to meet in the middle. But, there's no hard feelings there at all.
Have you asked?
No hard feelings at all. Great piece right there with Jerry Jones and, Michael Parsons' conversations of, hey, did he say something negative about his agent? Yeah, but he knows the heart of his agent, right? And he knows the good things about his agent, and he sees the good things about Jerry Jones. So is Michael Parsons doing a little PR work? You can ask yourself and answer that question to yourself and say, yeah, he's doing a little PR work for his agent and for Jerry. Meaning that the deal could be already done. He's too calm, but we'll find out, man. This is Michael Parsons on the why he chose to show up for voluntary workouts despite not having that new contract. Okay.
Obviously everyone got their perspective, but just talking to Shotty and telling me, the importance how it is to come and be there, and what he's trying to prove and show to the team. I just thought it was important, one, for me and my relationship with our new head coach, to understand where he's coming from and help him in any way I can to, go on this run. So that's goes to show, Shotty showed up to my event. Shotty's been around and trying to build relationships. So I feel like we're at the point where, if he asks her for, for me to come in for a couple of days to, it's important for the leadership aspect and be around the guys and show face, and that's something I'm willing to do for my coach and anybody.
Is this also kind of
no doubt, man. That's great communications right there. With you can say however you want to say it with Michael Parsons and Shotty. Shotty did show up to his event, right? And Michael Parsons showing up for him. That's what we call sacrifice. And, there will always be compromising, right? You got to compromise your situation, even if you don't believe all. But this is a good situation to compromise with because it shows loyalty and it shows leadership from Michael Parsons and one to another. Like Shotty now saying, okay, I did a little for you. Now it's time for you to do a little bit for me. But this was all off of love because no one forced either to do each way, So I do like the initiative of Michael Parsons being there, and I do like the initiatives of Schotty being there. So this was just a picture of Tyler Smith. He said he was talking recently of the retirement of Zach Martin, and Tyron Smith says, quote, I got to continue the culture. The standard is still the standard. We got big dreams this offseason. We need that Lombardi trophy. He said the word. So we got to do what we got to do. Yes, indeed. So I love what I'm hearing or reading here by Tyler Smith. Ooh-wee. Let's get it, Cowboy Nation. I love that. And this is my guy, Osa. This is a still picture, but we can read it. John Machota, appreciate you so much. Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa on getting a new contract. This is where I want to be. Quote, okay, quote, this is where I want to be. So to be able to get the reward to stay where I want it to be is awesome. Getting to love from the team and knowing that I am wanted here and that I'm going to be here for a while. It's pretty awesome, quote unquote. On the new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, come on, Miles, get together. Quote, the energy is great. I feel like what he's teaching us in terms of our play style is what we want to build. I see a lot of stuff that we already do, just taking it to another level. I feel like the players, we're gonna gel very well, and unquote. That is from my guy, Osa Odighizuwa. Appreciate him and all that he's able to do. This is Michael Parsons' last comment. Michael Parsons said back in December that he didn't need to have $40 million per year on his next deal. All right, let's listen to what he have to say.
For me, it's all about, before, Miles and Jamar is challenging because you don't need to be there, right? This market set at 35, and then you kind of, it kind of backfires, because you look at the market and you see Miles go, they're like, all right, Max goes and gets 35 and a half, 36. And then you see guys that are older than you, and you can say that, your production and versatility matches what they're doing, and you say, why? I would say I'm more in my prime than a lot of these other guys, they're more in the second half of their career. So that's the challenging part, man, just getting fully about what's your worth. I don't really think it's about the dollar. I think about how someone thinks it's all about how much someone thinks you're worth, you know what I mean? For me, it's all about...
No doubt. So basically, and shout out to John Machota, be sure to follow him on Twitter and also on Cowboys Collective. Be sure to check him out twice a week when we do a show together. Here's what I got to say with all of this, and this is a great showcasing of leadership. I like what I'm hearing from Parsons on that. He means everything far as exactly how he's approaching this, right? Like, my market value is my market value. I can't go too far south of my market value. And if you're seeing what Max Crosby is getting, I got to be somewhere in the mix of that, But at the same time, I don't need to be paid $60 or $70 million or $45 to $50 million, whatever it may be. But it got to be something that's respectful, and the guarantees got to be there, etc. So all of those things, when you contextualize it, what Parsons is saying, for one, he's stepping in the right direction as far as leadership. For two, we can clearly see that Schotty, he's not backing down. He's one of those guys that's building this culture thing. And three, for what Tyler Smith said, hey, I got to keep the standard here, and the standard is the standard. And he said that we were short of the standard. I want to lift up that Lombardi trophy. That's major things. And four, the biggest takeaway with Osa Odighizuwa is that he's happy here. He's with his team that he loved to be at in the city that he really wants to rock for. And all of his contemporaries love working with him. So that's a great thing, and he can't wait to showcase his talent towards Matt Eberflus. This is a team. This is a team that's going to have the identity, believe it or not, on running the ball, what we've been banging on the table for, and the other identity will be stopping the run. They're looking for a clog drainer, right? You know what I'm talking about for those who watch my live stream earlier today. You're looking for those meaty hands, right? So someone that can be able to stop the run and get turnovers, right? Those are the things that Matt Eberflus is wanting to establish on defense. And then on offense, of course, physical, up-tempo, running the ball down in the trenches. You got to love what you're hearing, but now it's time for us to see the action. Yeah. Measure a man not by his words, but by his actions. So that's what we're waiting for from here. Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, this is the Nightcap brought to you by Law Nation Sports. You're listening to nothing but the best. We out. Peace. One love.